Alright, hello there everyone, this is Soul017 here, along you for as usual, not in the future, not paid video. Alright, okay, so, here's the thing everyone, I had no power. Sunday night, I was working on the what if, it did not, save, but as soon as I was going to bed, the power went out. And, wait, was that Sunday? No, I was gonna be working on it. It was another time. I remember it wasn't Sunday night, but I was gonna work on the what if Sunday night. Power went out anyways. And then Monday, no power either. So we got it back though. Tuesday morning. The thing was, I had my phone to basically send make any comments on anyone's reply to anyone on their comments. That was a thing. So I'm over at my friend's house. So this is gonna be like a maybe 30 to 45 minute what if. I don't know. All is I know it gonna say is Ruki is gonna be in My Hero Academia. So yeah. And there's gonna be a nerdship, but that's gonna be after he goes to Soul Society. Hollow Ichigo or White. I'm just gonna say Ichiogo though. So yeah. But anyways, let's get into this what if. This is what if Zuki was the reincarnation of Hollow Ichigo. And two things I'm gonna say at the end of the video, 2 to 3. So yeah, just to let you guys know. Alright, okay. So, as Ichigo is basically putting on his uniform for UA, Inko's coming over and asking him, is he gonna be alright going to UA and such because of if Izumi is in there, that means All Might, or she says it in a angry and / disgusting tone, Toshinori. And Ichigo just says, doesn't matter to me. He can try all he wants to try to get me out of there. If they even do, I just revealed to him about One for All. And then he hears Nana Shimura saying, yeah, tell him. Heck, even the first user says, we'll give you our power then. Lend the course power to you. So yeah. And this is the way he he thinks he can just flex on Izumi, just saying they chose me, even though dear old stepdad was trying to choose you. So yeah. So anyways, she goes, alright, just be safe. He goes, I will. So after he leaves he leaves the apartment, he closes the door, he walks down. He basically is about to turn the corner, and when he does, he doesn't even turn it. He just walks straight. He goes, you found out where I live, did you? As he looks over and he sees Rukia. She goes, yep. It was easy. After all, after my brother-in-law did, Byakuya unlock all your spiritual pressure after the seal. He was like, yeah, you have the sense, and even though I'm trying to keep it suppressed. Well, whatever. Come on. As they just start walking off, Rukia does ask, so why did you make a Sero to destroy the Zero Pointer's leg, and then sliced it in two if it gets it at Tensho? And then Ichigo just says, because it was fun. Duh. Also, and that was only me using about 5% of my power, so hey. Want to see how much I need to be stronger. And it turns out, because of all my physical training, I might have actually gotten even stronger than I was when I was attached to Ichigo. Oh, hold on, I gotta go do something. Alright everyone, I'm back. I had to go get a drink because, I guess I'm stuck in my throat or something. But yeah, anyways, I also have to mention my friend's sister's over here with her kid, which is a baby, so don't mind that if you hear yelling or crying. But anyways, so yeah, so Rukia just looks at him like, really, just to test out your power, see how strong you are. I was like, yeah. And she just sighs. She goes like, what am I gonna do if he goes like, well, besides watching me, just like I'm your little I don't know, pet or something. Why are you even here anyways? And Rukia just goes, oh, because, well, a special request from my brother. And, he goes from Byakuya. He was like, that's what he says to her. She just looks away and goes like, yes. He goes, to make sure I don't do nothing bad. She goes, no, to keep an eye on you. He was like, exactly the same thing what I just said. She goes, okay, yeah, true. And so, he doesn't care. He just kind of laughs at this, in which she just looks very confused. And then he just says, well, this works out perfectly. And she goes, wait, what? He goes, it's nothing. So he just walking up, and Rukia is trying to figure out what, he meant by that. Then he says, come on, Ice Queen. We're going to be late to school. And she's like, hey, don't call me Ice Queen. And he's like, whatever. So, after about 15 minutes of them talking and walking, they get to school. Bakugo's there. He goes, yo, Ichigo, what took you so long? He was like, it was nothing. Just had to talk to Ice Queen over here. And she just says, stop calling me Ice Queen. He goes, all right, Rukia. But you do have ice power, so Ice Queen. And she just kicks him in the leg, and he goes like, do you really think that's gonna hurt me? And then she gets all mad, just walks away. Bakugo's like, dude, you never tease a girl like that. What's going on? He was like, what do you mean? Which Bakugo just puts it together. He was like, oh, I see. All right, come on. So they leave, and he basically Ichigo's trying to tell him to. That's not what you think. It's it's just because they like teasing her or something. He goes like, then Bakugo says it's because you like her. He's like, no. This is before they call to Rukia, and then they go to class for 1A. So Rukia is replacing Invisible Girl, and Izumi is replacing Mineta. So yeah, so when they get there, it's really just them, Todoroki, Momo, and well, Tokiyami who are there first, and basically, oh yeah, and Mina's there, but in this one she's different, way different, not the perky, girl she was in canon. It's just because of you'll find out, but yeah. Just forgot to mention 2 ships. Like I said, it's gonna be between Mina and someone else from Bleach. Hold on, let me find her name. Okay, I'm gonna pronounce this name wrong. It's Yorichi, Youichi, I believe. Let me check. Yep, I got the spelling right. So yeah, it's between Mina and her. You guys can decide. 1 for Yorichi, 2 for Mina. Or, doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna do the story for her like I would do if, she was gonna be the ship. It's someone's idea, so yeah. But anyways, Mina's there too, but she's more sulking in like near the window and doesn't really talk to anyone or even try to get to know anyone. She's just there. And he basically sees her yellow eyes in the black. He's like thinking, that's how my eyes used to be. I wonder. As he closes his eyes, and then when he reopens them, well, he basically has like, the black where the white part of his eye is, and then his eyes are yellow. In which Bakugo looks at him and is like, how did you? Even Ruki was like looking at him. He was like, what? I just thought about it and I did it. It's nothing big deal. And he just walks over to his his desk, which is right next to Mina. She's not, talking to him or anything at all. He's basically wondering what's up with her. So yeah. So after, Bako sits right in front of him, Rukia sits right behind him. Bako and him start talking along with Rukia. Everyone else is starting to come in. And then, it's Izumi. Izumi's basically not late. She's the second person to get in that would have been late. Well, nearly late. Like Araka. So, she's second. Araka is going to be the first place late. Sorry, I had to make a little joke. So, yeah. Anyways, Izumi comes in and just goes, made it. And then Ichigo just goes like, oh, great. Toshinori's daughter and my mom's. Fun. And basically here's the first user who goes, don't worry. How about we help you out with something? He was like, wait, what? He goes, we think you're ready. He goes, wait. Am I going to get more power? I mean, I'm okay with my spiritual pressure. I'm pretty, strong already. He goes like, we're going to give you our power. The power of one for all. You don't have to. I mean, I knew I took it when I was a kid and all, but come on. We don't have to have, Toshinori thinking I stole it somehow. And, I don't have to get in trouble trying to become a hero. Which, well, Nana just says, doesn't matter. Your body's already kind of adapted to it. Slowly. When you were a kid, it started to adapt it. So, yeah. He's like, oh, great. Fun. Here comes trouble. So, Bako snaps him out of his, out of his head, basically. He was like, have you been listening to me at all? He was like, sorry. Thinking of something. Deep in thought. Which Bako goes like, you always are deep in thought, Ichigo. So, yeah, Izumi doesn't notice him at all. Well, she knows him from the heroes from, to get an UA entrance exam, but she doesn't recognize him as, what she knows his name was Izuku Midoriya. In which, yeah, so she comes over to him, says hi, starts talking to him, tells her his, her name, then he tells her his name. Bakugo, she remembers and such, and she doesn't know Rukia, so they start talking. And it's like, he's thinking to himself, is she dumb? How can she not recognize me? I know my hair's white now, and basically it's longer, straightened. My eyes are different. I mean, I always had my yellow eyes, but still. Did All Might really teach her how to be somewhat stupid? I mean, she didn't seem like a teacher type, so that makes sense. Whatever. So after that, she goes over, sits right near Jiro and Araka. So yeah, and they're talking. Next thing you know, Aizawa basically comes up, and he goes like, he comes into the room in his sleeping bag. He goes like, and everyone's wondering who he is, and Izuku just be like, Ichigo just be like, wait, I remember someone reading about someone that sleeps in a sleeping bag most of his time, because he's always tired. Who was he? He's like, tapping his fingers as out comes out of his sleeping bag. He goes, hello there, one. I am Aizawa. Shoto Aizawa. And then, basically, he's like pondered still. As Aizawa, talks about how they're going to do another quirk assessments test. And then, whoever doesn't make it in is expelled, who is basically the lowest grade and such. So, yeah. And it's like, okay. So he's not paying attention. He gets up right away, just walks. He grabs the thing, grabs the gym uniform, because they already showed it. And he's still thinking, I was like, who is he? Who is he? And Bakugo was like, "Oh God, why?" So he gets up. He tells Mr. Aizawa Bakugo says, "Sorry about him. When he gets into deep thought, he doesn't really pay attention to what he's doing." In which Aizawa goes like, "How long? How many times has this happened?" He was like, "Well, in a year, at least 3 times." In general sense of how long it's like every year, 3 times a year. You're like, all right, is this like the third? He goes like, somewhat the third, somewhat the first. It's almost the end of it, so we count as the first now. So it's like, all right. Rukia comes over and grabs her stuff, and she's running over to Ichigo. Bakugo does too. And Aizawa just says, "Get your stuff and get the freak out of here," and that's it. So everyone just goes into getting their stuff and then goes to basically the changing room. And basically, Bakugo says, "Yo, Ichigo, you alright?" He just says, yeah, what? Sorry. I'm trying to figure out who that teacher was." He's, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, this is a hero school, so you had to be a hero." He's like, "Yeah, what's the big deal?" It's like, wait, the goggles, the scarf, the, oh, oh man, I figure him out now. He was like, "Okay, who is he? Come on, don't leave a friend out. Basically, don't leave a friend hanging." He's like, "Oh, Shoda Aizawa, Eraserhead. He can basically nullify your quirk," which Bakugo's like, "Okay, I need to think of something now." He was like, "What?" He's like, "How long duration does the quirk last?" He was like, my guess is as long as he's looking at you, because he wears the goggles." That's all I know, basically. Those are probably, it has something to do with his eyes, because that's why he wears goggles. And he just says, "Okay, so, Kirishima did, and it does exactly the same thing he would do, like, saying, like, how much you work out. And basically, he just says, "Oh, I just do normal sword training, a little bit here and there, push ups, sit ups, that's it. That's all." And then, like, Denki does say, like, "So, quick question. Why did you want to become a hero?" And he just says this. He goes, "It has something to do with someone told me I couldn't become a hero because of my quirk." You see, as he does have the mask with him, like always, he says, "This is my quirk," as he has the mask in his hand. And they're like, "What?" He goes, "Well, it's more like this activates my quirk, but now I can do even without it." It's basically, it was kind of like a awaken. It only awoken when my mask was on me, and then I can increase it exponentially to the point where the mask will change into 2 more forms. As they were, wait, what? So he describes it, the one with the mask that has the line just going down, and then like the one with the horns, and how he can make like certain attacks, like a spear of energy that is devastating. So it's kind of dangerous, and that's like a last resort form. But then he does know there's probably something else I can do, but I don't know much more. So yeah, and well, that's pretty much it. He just describes it as that. Like, wow, that's pretty cool. Why would someone call you a villain? He was like, because of my eyes, the mask, and how I acted when I had the mask on. It's kind of like my personality switched. But truthfully, I was faking my whole entire personality because of, well, had my mom remarried, and she and well, me and her changed our names after my real dad died. So I used to be called Izuku Midoriya, but I'm Ichigo Kurosaki, really. And they like started to hear about that man, and Bakugo's like, uh, when you told me your real name was, I was really pissed off at you. But after you told me the reason why, and your mom even explained to Mitsuki, well, no, not Mitsuki, he says my mom, I can understand everything. I was like, yeah, come on, let's go. So basically, Jiro didn't hear nothing. She didn't snoop on the conversation, so no one knows. But Izuku did get out, does leave the room before Bakugo, then Bakugo follows after him. Everyone goes out, and Aizawa just says, alright, first place, Ichigo Kurosaki, come over and throw the ball. As he then, well, Ichigo comes over. So, what happens is, Aizawa gives him the ball and just says, okay, what was the last time you threw the ball without your quirk? He says, 200 meters. He goes, wait, what? Seriously, 200? He goes like, yeah. My quirk technically would amplify my physical ability even without it on activated. So, can't help it. I was like, alright. Does it have to do with any workout? He goes, yeah, physical strength does, happen. But it's also a little bit of help with my quirk. So, he plays a minimal role in it. He goes, alright, throw the ball without your quirk. He goes, alright. So, he throws it, like, with all his, not with all his might. He just throws it where it looks like it is. And as I can tell, he wasn't, but it goes to 400 meters. And he goes, huh, I doubled what I did last time. And, Aizawa then throws another ball and says, alright, throw, but with your quirk. He goes, alright. As he grabs the mask, which then Izumi does put it together, like all of a sudden she remembers that mask. She goes, wait a minute, no, it can't be him. So what happens is, he puts on the mask. Well, no, right before he puts on the mask, Aizawa says, hey, why you put on that? He goes, it's part of my quirk. This activates it, and basically it brings it out to the fullest. But I have worked on it where it doesn't need to be on, but still, to have the full effect of it, it has to be on my face, so can't be helped. Aizawa just says, fine. So, he puts on the mask as it does start to change. He's not going to go full power, he's just going to go to the second form. So, you know how the mask is with Ichigo. Just to let you know, I do not own these pictures. So, yeah, this form. But then he goes to this form, which everyone can feel a slight power going, like, immense from him. And people are having a hard time breathing. Rukia can sense the spiritual pressure rising, and she's very, very surprised. She never expected this to, happen. And so, he just asks, how far you want me to throw it? I don't have no control over my strength since this is the first time. He goes, throw as hard as you can, kid. I want to see. As, he was having a hard time, breathing a little. As he goes, alright, so Ichigo throws it. And when it leaves his hand, it basically makes a mini sonic boom. And it just goes flying. After 5 minutes, actually like 10 seconds later, there's a reading on it. And it's, 1,765 meters. And he thinks, wait, that could be in the ocean, I think. Alright, so he just shows everyone, and everyone's shocked. Bakugo just laughing at it, because he goes, so that's what it's like with your freaking power being shown. I'm gonna get stronger than you, Ichigo. He goes like, yeah, sure, whatever, Bakugo. He does put the mask over to the side of his face. And Kirishima and Denki are kind of sweating a little bit. Though when he does take it off, the mask does go to its base form, and he puts it over to his side. He says he doesn't need the mask on for anything else, just a ball throw. I can beat everyone here without it. And unbeknownst to him, All Might was watching him. All Might did sense a sinister aura, but it was more lighter and calmer. Not like when he thought he was sensing it as a kid. He was. Well, basically, he was sensing it from Ichigo as a kid. It was more of a violent rage, it felt like. That's because his power was being bottled up. So it was trying to come out. So yeah, I mean, he's keeping an eye on him, but he does then what happens is Izumi does hold on. Alright. So as I was saying before I left, yeah, he's rethinking everything. Now back to Izumi. Izumi does come over, and she goes, yeah, she's taking a closer look at Ichigo. He basically just says, "So, um, why are you staring at me so much?" And she goes, "Because you remind me of somebody." And he goes, "Oh, really? Let me guess. Guy with green and black hair, uh, yellow eyes, even though something like that, or." I mean, he does remember. He does forget, though. If I think I made him wear contacts, he does forget that he might have wore contacts. So she doesn't know he had green eyes. He's like, "Oh yeah, can I forget that?" He thinks basically. She goes, "But you remind me of him a little bit." Who? She goes, "My brother. I mean, my dad said he was a villain, and that they should technically abandon him, which I don't agree with. You know." Just because he had a villainous quirk doesn't mean he could be a potential villain. And he kind of smiles at this, but I did understand why my dad was somewhat afraid because villains do attack, people, and he doesn't want basically the family and him have to worry about him as a villain or any of his reputation or something. I mean, he is a pro hero. So, and Nina's kind of like right there, seeing like hearing her, as she's just thinking. So his father, he was like, "Don't you mean stepdad?" She was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, my dad and his dad are different people." It's like, "Yeah." Wait, she was, "How did you?" I was like, "Well, I figure I should tell you, sis. Remember Izuka Midoriya? Me?" She was, "Wait, what do you mean?" He was like, and then he just like said something very embarrassing about her, which she just says, "No, no, 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 no," and her face is all entire red. And he was like, "See, long time no see, huh? How have you been? I mean, you're 3 years younger than me, technically." As she was 2.5 years younger than you. He was like, "Yeah, true, whatever." She was, "Good. How's dear old Toshinori? The symbol of peace." Which, it was the only one that I can hear because everyone else is doing ball throw, but they went over to the side because he wanted to be left alone. And she basically, it was the only one nearby. She goes, "Good. You got a really bad injury." He was like, "Oh, alright. Anything else?" She goes, "Try to make my quirk stronger." You're like, "How?" I mean, that has to be some type of secret of his. And unbeknownst to them, All Might's coming over as he does puts both hands on, well, one hand on his Ichigo's shoulder and another hand on Zumi's shoulder, as everyone then realizing even Aizawa, sees it, but Ichigo and Zumi were just shocked. He goes, "Ah, Ichigo and Zumi." Basically, he just says hello to both of them, and she goes, "Dad, what are you doing?" He was like, "Oh, I just came by to see you. Also, I wanted to know who this basically person is," which he just lied. He was like, "You don't have to lie about it to Shinori." He's like, "All right, there, Ichigo. I speak to you in private." He goes, "Fine, fine. Mr. Aizawa, gotta go take a second. We're talking to the symbol of peace." As it says in a mocking tone. As Aizawa just says, "Alright." So, they both leave. Which then Mio says, "Why is your dad trying to, talk to Ichigo?" And Zumi just says, "Well, this is the first time you ever talked to somebody." And when she goes, "Sorry, no, no." And then, Izumi says, "No, no, no, I'm just surprised, because you're quiet mostly in class, and every other time." Hold on. Sorry about that. I did not know my phone was going to go off, but yeah. So, Mina and her just started talking, and Izumi just tells her about her mom and his mom are exactly the same person, but both of their dads aren't. And that her her father and his mother had a little bit of an argument. They got divorced. And what else that she's thinking? Oh, and his dad, well, my dad thought he was a villain, so he wanted his mom to abandon him, which she didn't. She just explains the whole entire situation, in which kind of Mina is like surprised that he's the one to become a hero at all because of what the symbol piece. But meanwhile, while that's chat is happening, they get turned around the corner and he goes, "What do you want?" Toshinori just goes on his hands and knees and apologizes for what he said in the past, which Ichigo's kind of weirded out. So honestly, he just says, "Get up." Symbol piece shouldn't be bowing his head on his hands and knees to a teenager. How embarrassing. Because, no, I, said what I said back then, judging you off of a feeling I had, in a sense that you would have been a potential villain, and I should never have done that. And, well, I should have at least tried to steer you down the path of a hero. And he goes, "You didn't really need to. I wanted to become Hun anyways, so yeah, I mean, you just basically gave me more fuel to the fire, basically, to become one." As All Might says, this is still, does not, basically help. But he does then ask, do you know anything about, like, Izumi? And, well, Ichigo says, she tried to work on a quirk, she tried to make it stronger, it didn't work. That's all I know. Like, what she told me. And we chatted before you came, so, yeah. He goes, "I want to tell you the secret about my quirk." He goes like, "Okay, let me hear it." And he's just like acting like he wants to know, but he already knows. So Mom explains everything, and even about how he got injury and such, and like, for some reason his power has not been fading. It's been staying there, but it was his time limit is 3 hours now, and that his power still was not fading away, even though it was his wound. That was it. It was weird to him. But now he can feel like his power is fading. And Izumi does not have the quirk, so I was wondering. And he goes, "Alright, how do you want me to show you?" He's like, "Try to activate it by focusing something into your arm." And he was like, "Alright." So he focused only on his arm as red glowing lines starts to appear on his hand. And he says, "Okay." And he goes, "Wait, when did you?" He was like, "Oh, you got drunk and basically the users of One For All took over your body, well, your subconscious and your body to make you give me the quirk willingly." Which All Might's mouth opens up in shock. He was like, "Yeah, I had the quirk ever since probably from in between 6 and 8. So I have not ever used the quirk. Don't ever need to, but yeah, I just wanted to rub it in your face. That's why I took it mostly out of spite." So, I mean, they also kind of been teaching me how to be a hero, like what's the aspects of one and what needs to be done. So, they by teach I mean words of advice. So don't worry, got technically your master as my well, one of my teachers. By All Might, or should I say Toshinori, as he just leaves with a big giant grin on his face, and All Might is shocked. He has mixed feelings. He doesn't know if he should be happy that he has the quirk. He doesn't know if he should feel angry that they forced him to do that, or like he just doesn't know what to think. So imagine All Might with a weirdly confused face of multiple emotions, of happy, proud, confusion, angry, sadness, and, well, just overall proud for some reason. A proud feeling is over him. he gets back to everyone. Everyone asks, why did All Might want him? He goes like, well, my stepdad wanted to talk to me. So, yeah, haven't seen it about, forgotten when, but hey, who cares? So, people are going like, wait, stepdad is? Baku goes, oh yeah, it was your stepdad. I forgot about that. Even though I do like All Might, he's technically a jerk. What he said to you about all that thing, he was like, it's over and done with. Who cares, Bakugo? So, people are curious on what was reasoning for that, like him thinking that, but Mina knows, so she's not gonna say nothing, though. So everything else of the test goes like in canon, with people, besides Manel not there, and let's just say the guy with that can make many arms and ears, eyes, whatever, it was last place, but Aizawa season can see a reason for him to be there, so he goes like, I was just lying, basically. I want to see what you would do if I did that to bring out your full potential. And to my shock, Ichigo Kurosaki was the first place, and everyone else who got their places, I was surprised with all of your performance, basically. So yeah, like, Ida was even surprised with Ichigo beating him, like, in speed. He thought he was just lucky, but no, he beat him in speed, like, in a second. Like, 1 second only took him to beat Ida. That's how fast he was. Rukia, though, during her time, she got about 900 meters with her ice. Speed, she was third place behind Ida. I mean, no, she was third place, basically. And then, well, because of that, she was basically overall in 5th place. So, yeah. So, after that, he just tells him, go home. That's it. He goes, alright. So everyone does leave, after they get changed. They're talking and chatting. Izumi doesn't, has to go home to train, basically. And Ichigo just says he's gonna probably go to the arcade. Where Baku goes, finally, I've been waiting for this. So he goes, we're gonna go and play that fighting game that you always beat me at. I learned as many skills as I memorized all the combinations, and I'm gonna beat you this time. He was like, okay. And so, Rukia is curious by this, and so is Mina. So they come with, and at the arcade, they play this fighting game, and an hour and 25 minutes later, they come out, and Bakugo just like upset, like pretend that anime scene, like his head's down, and like he's just saying like to himself, "I lost to him 50 freaking times. How?" And Ichigo's just thinking, I beat him 15 times with just button mashing. Funny. So, yeah. Rukia and Mina were very surprised by that. But when they're like walking over, Rukia and Ichigo sense a hollow. And, well, Ichigo can always see them. As a hollow is like right in front of them, as a building does get hit by this hollow's like arm, as it's like, well, basically it cracked, and the people nearby were scared, along with Mina, and Bakugo was just like, "Hey, Ichigo, is it?" He goes, "Yeah, another one of those things." I can see it too, though. So, as he cracks his neck, he just brings out his sword. As Mina goes, "What the?" And he just says, "Alright, let's do this." As in, he basically just disappears, and this hollow isn't alone. Basically, this hollow mask kind of looks like an armadillo's, but its arm is like reinforced with scales that, well, he's gonna have a hard time cutting through. So, yeah, Rukia can see it, but she can't get a way to try to come out and basically be in her soul reperform. But so, Ichigo's basically disappearing, attacking on it multiple sides. People are just wondering what's happening. They can see the hollow now, which people wonder that's a villain, but they go, no, we don't know. People don't know what it is. It doesn't look like it has a heart. And then, like, basically what happens, Ichigo just thinks, oh, okay, I gotta get up close to him, probably. So that's what he does. And then the Hollow was about to punch him in the face as he just stops it, and then he just grabs his sword. Spiritual pressure is rising as he just says, "Get to the attention!" Gets the attention and just slashes down right across like the Hollow, like freaking. Basically, it goes from his shoulder all the way down, like sideways, basically, and like kind of like destroying it. But there was like multiple hollow. There's like a hollow that came out of nowhere, hits him, sends him flying. He basically, gets out of the wall with nothing, not even a bruise on him. As Ruki just saying, "Stop messing around, just kill them all." It was like, "Fine, try to ruin my fun," but that other hollow was a big problem. It was almost like it was close to being a wrong car. As he just thinks, "Oh, great. These that hollow kept on eating souls under the radar, probably." So he just pokes on the mask, and then all of a sudden the spirit pressure is rising, as all these hollows basically are like in fear. As then he just disappears, and in an instant, all of them are dead. As then he just takes it off, and he sees multiple people looking at him. He goes like, "Okay, gotta get out of here." As they just run off. There's like no bodies, but they did see them like disappeared, like faded, like actual like when they were cut, they actually were disappearing, as nobody knows what they were. So yeah. So Baku, Rukia, and Ichigo got it there real quick. As Miyu just says, What were those?" And he goes, "Hollows. Basically people of the dead. Basically turned into a being that eats other spirits. Basically, if you die, you get eaten by a hollow. You basically get turned into a hollow. And then Soul Reapers have to kill you and to save other spirits and bring you out of your misery, basically." And yeah, she was like, "I don't believe that." He was like, "You just saw it." She was still, "I don't." He was like, "All right, that's up to you." And Vaku just says, "Well, I'm maybe traumatized for a little bit." Because really, he was like, "Yep, find out what they really are. How can you kill them so easily?" He was like, and then he just says, "Because I was one." And he was, "Wait, what?" He was like, "Yeah, let me explain this." So he explains who he was before, how he was like basically was a hollow named White that was out of like I think Hollow was name was White, but he was like artificial, like he was modified. He was a hollow that was modified by Aizen. So if not, then he's just like he was a modified or a artificial hollow, not a real one. I think it was the modified. They captured him White, modified on him, turned him into what he was before he basically was killed by Ichigo's mother. Then he was still inside of her, and well, that was it. Then so on in history, he just tells them as they're shocked by this. Bako is even more shocked. Rukia is not. Ichigo already told her. Mina's surprised. She goes, "Wait, so that means, yeah, my power is basically evil, kind of, but the way I use it is for good. So, yeah, have an evil power, using it for good. Don't really care much about things. This is my own life, and I'm just living it the way I want. Free, don't care much, don't care about much, and just have fun. And that's all." So Mino says, "All right, I understand that, but why are you not terrified of killing your own kind?" He goes like, "Howls eat each other. It's basically strong feed on the weak. It's basically like the animal kingdom." And Bug goes, "All right, so compared to them, what are you?" He goes like, "The strongest in a wrong car. Basically, a wrong car that has a human form. Well, a hollow that has a human form, but we're really not humans." And he goes, "All right, explain what a wrong car is." He just explains it. So yeah, and well, Baku just says, "Yep, I am definitely traumatized. Bye, I'm going home." And Rukia just says, "Come on." Mina says, "Wait, are you going to?" He goes like, "Walk you home?" She goes, "Yeah, please." He goes, "Sure." So they walk. He walks her home. Like Rukia comes along. he basically asked me, so why are you all quiet in class? So she explains it about how people kept on calling her a villain because of her appearance and because of her quirk. Yes, because of the acid quirk you have? Wow, those guys were idiots. He goes, huh? He goes, yeah, it is dangerous, but you can probably create different types of acid that can probably, if a different, well, acid, how can I say, percent of the acid that you have could be used for different things. One could be higher, one could be lower. So the way that you use your quirk could be very different. Alright? She goes, huh. I didn't think like that. He goes, yeah, that's what I think. But you could just test it out on your own. Alright? She goes, alright. And so that's, so basically they take her home and, she says bye. He basically says bye. Rukia does it too. So he does say to Rukia after, walking away for a few minutes. He goes, like, so where you live? She goes, oh, an apartment building that you live in. He goes, wait, actually, in my room, just like with Ichiogo. She goes, no, right next door. I'm your neighbor. He was like, really? You're my neighbor? Why? He goes, because it's easier then. He's like, fine. So, they walk back home. She says bye. He says bye. And when Rukia comes in, she goes, brother, I'm home. He goes, and basically, he basically that's what they say on paper. As Byakuya is there. He was like, so how was school? You got out early. It's like 2. He goes, yeah, our teacher, left us leave. He was like, that's not very good. He was like, yeah, I know. But pro hero, Eraserhead Aizawa, as he goes, I looked in on, heroes, and I read about him. Understandable. So how is he? He goes, he's good. He basically kind of told some people about Hollows and him, which I'm surprised too. Ichigo didn't really know much about that, but hey, found out something new about him. Naviaki was like, alright. So we're going back over to Ichigo as he pictures his mom, home, tired, sleeping. Wake me up at 4 or something so I can help you cook. She goes, alright. So he goes into sleep. He basically wakes up at 4. She comes in, wakes up at 4:30, and then he helps her out cooking. After that, they eat. He tells her how his day was. They make some light conversation, watch TV. He does his homework. Well, homework that he basically gives himself so that way his mind doesn't go soft. And try to study it so that way he can have an easier time with the schoolwork on Hero Society and all that. So yeah. And, well, freak. Trying to stretch. My back just sounded like, how when your body just can lock up on you, like your whole entire body goes stiff. Yeah, that's what happened. So, sorry, I had to stretch right there. Alright, so anyways. So so the next day they get to school. I'm skipping it because this is where I'm up near an ending. And sorry about that, but yeah. So they get to school. Everyone goes in. Everyone started talking. Mina's talking to Ichigo, Rukia, and Bakugo. Kirishima's looking over, smiling about this. Denki asks, "Why are you, smiling at her? Do you like her or something?" He was like, "Oh no. It's just that she's a friend of mine that people kept on calling her a villain, and I'm glad she met some friends here." She goes, oh, why? As he just tells the reason why, as Denki's kind of pissed off at those people. So yeah, but anyways, what happens is that All Might does come in like the same thing as Ichigo, just like going like, yay, All Might. And everyone, has their costumes. Rukia does a traditional, she had to basically make hers almost similar to hers, but it's more like a regular clothing type of look, like her Soul Reaper form. But she had to make it where it'll work with the mob. Her artificial body that can hide her spiritual pressure, but make it into a quirk instead. So it's basically she does know the weaknesses. her body can like freeze over, so it does have like some heat into it, along with she can like generate ice on any part of her body to basically use as a weapon. And basically that's her costume. Ichigo's is just basically he just designed it, skull t-shirt. I'm just joking. He basically designed it to be a little bit like Fullbrink, the Fullbrink form. He liked the design of that, so basically he designed it off of the Fullbrink. So it's does have like that white skeleton look on it, along with it does have like a that how can I say this, that like badge that Ichigo had. He does have like they basically made that. He has that at the side along with his mask, his pants. That's like the shirt was along with the jacket. That's like the shirt and jacket, like the combination. I mean, just like the full brink form. Then like the pants are just basically, um, have like multiple pockets and basically are made to take hits and use his like quirk because it was weird. Basically, he can use his spiritual pressure to make the clothing stronger. So and then he just has like basically a regular sneakers. That's it. Heck, he even says he can bring out a sword, so that's why he just like has like I don't know something to put the sword in on. I'm trying to think of all this on. I forgot about when I was making this what if a couple of days ago. I kind of forgot what I said, and I'm just going based off memory. And yeah, I'm probably sucking right now. Sorry, and I'm trying to rush because I got nearly work soon. So yeah, sorry. And so, um, yeah, Izumi's just kind of looks like All Might's costume, but different. She basically All Might's basically her hero. Well, her dad is her hero, so she kind of based it off of him. That's it. Yeah, in which everyone realized that they're looking at Ichigo and Rukia's costume and wondering, huh? So wait, they basically asked, so Ichigo, what's your what is your quirk really? I was like, oh well, I can summon out a sword. I can make some energy out of it. Plus, I can even do this as he basically shows a bow and arrow that just appears in his hand. He goes, pretty handy, huh? As all I see is as he goes, wait, what? He can summon stuff? That's not his, that's not, what? Like, he understands Izuku's, like, not, he understands Ichigo's quirk, but he didn't know he could do that. And he goes, wow, that's amazing. He goes like, yeah, pretty much. Anyway, let's go. And then, All Might explains about the whole tire is going to be randomized, and that it's hero versus villains, and that it's going to be Mina. I mean, basically, they do technically say that he wants a one team with 3 people, so it's going to be Mina, Rukia, and Ichigo, versus basically Todoroki, Izumi, and Bakugo. That's how it is. And, well, everyone's wondering why he's doing this. He wants to see Ichigo's potential, even Rukia's and Mina's. Like, he can see that it's, like, he wants to know the reason why she's, like, she feels like she's off and doesn't talk to no one besides these people. So, she wants to see why. I mean, he wants to see why, basically. So, if he sees her fight, maybe he can see it. Plus, he wants to see how far Izumi has gone in. And her quirk is technically a little bit like All Might's with his strength. And he wants to see Bakugo, how far he's become. And Ida, well, Ida's just there because it's just a random person on the team. So yeah. But anyways, that's how I'm going to leave it off, everyone. I'm not going to go into the hero versus villains part. Just going to go into that next part. So yeah, hope you guys understand. I'm going to have to go and do something. Well, eat. And then I got work tonight. And it basically snowed, and the roads are technically cleared off now. They're good, so I have work. Sucks. But yeah, anyways, bye everyone. And I'll be making part 2 to the Isle card deku with the World Demon. So, abilities. But yeah. But anyways, bye everyone.